Folks, and welcome back to EGFC Week 9. I am here, Waffles for Sid here, of course, with Worst Cast, closing out the last Overwatch game of the evening today. Worst, how are you feeling going into this next match?
I'm excited. We're going to be seeing University of Hawaii versus University of Montana. I believe University of Montana is new. I don't know much about this team, if anything. Mostly nothing. Mostly know nothing about this team. So it's kind of a blank slate. I've heard some good things about them floating around from Twitch chat, mostly. Um, they said it would be a good game. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that prediction ends up being correct. Because I don't have one. So right now, I'm channeling Twitch chat right now. You are living. I'm living through Twitch chat, so that's fine.
Oh man, and that is a dangerous way to live.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, well, obviously, with Montana being so unknown, we could probably label them the wild card for the opening here till we get a good read on what's going on moving into Nepal. Still sticking with the same maps that we had before, and oh, look at the cute photos pinned up on the wall.
I remember when there was skin speculation about those photos 6 years ago.
A little dated there, that is true.
Man, I'm such a boomer. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like I'm such a IRL zoomer, but Overwatch boomer. It's so weird. It's like it's a weird dichotomy because I'm like I remember everything back 6 years ago, but then it's like I'm really young in real life. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, and it's really more weird when you're actually older in real life, like myself a bit. So, but you know, both teams here, of course, we're engaging right in the middle of the point. Big slam comes through from Math here, but not anything, no kills coming off the back end, just a lot of damage. Engagement coming through here from Montana, trying to keep that pressure forward, and well, just a lot of swinging around here. Math fell a little low, but thanks to the shield still feeling strong. No one's capped the point quite yet, but with Loadman going down, it's looking good for Hawaii to be able to take this first point.
Hopefully that's the case. Kind of the style here. It's very hard for the Rhine competition to really get anything done. When they don't have anything to kind of run over. At that point, you're trying to run over the backline or the Diva if they miss position, but they don't have a Lucio to speed on top of anything, and they're kind of just getting whittled down in the middle of that point, getting poked and prodded, and eventually will lose their lives, but straight off the mech, so they can maybe try to walk in while this mech is still not on, but nope, we'll get banged in there just momentarily.
Got a few ultimates online as well for University of Hawaii, and well, this pulse bomb could be one that seals the deal. No stick found, but good enough. Cheval does go down from the pulse bomb as Akami continues to berate them from all angles, dashing straight through them just to move around the side and continue to pepper them through. University of Hawaii, though, did lose the point at the end of it, and gonna have to reset.
Similar to how Nepotus was the one that had them didn't have the mech last time, it's now Jimmy Carter himself, president. Here, that doesn't have the mech nowadays to keep them down. They're gonna Transcendence forward to be aggressive here, but I don't know if it's gonna work out for them in the long run.
There's the minefield here, clearing the first front area, not letting Jimmy Carter get back through, and Hawaii's taking the point back in their favor, but they only have, well, they've got the rally coming up. That's actually going to be pretty hard to push into.
I was gonna say, if you don't have the rally there and use that Transcendence, the Coalescence could be very dangerous for you. Not a lot of healing if they just burst someone down, but with that rally, you should be fine. If you pop the rally as soon as they press Coal or right before they press Coal, you will simply live through it. The Truth of Break, the bomb on the backline should be pretty massive, but only finds a shield.
This pulse bomb is ready here from Akami as well, and they've been looking for a target to stick on. A little bit low here coming from Bowser, but does manage to keep herself topped off here and keep her team alive. Kill coming through from Bun Bun, and well, still back and forth. 2 DPS removed, 1 from each team, but that's going to be High Noon off the table as well. Hawaii still holding strong regardless of Montana's trickle in, and well, going to keep racking up possession.
Yeah, and now gonna be walking forward here, trying to get that High Noon to zone them off the point. And right now it's a lot of just Montana will get picks. That's a bit unfortunate. Cheval, I don't know if that's the situation to use that in. Generally, we want people covering for it. Not covering for it, but distracting. But I guess there's no one around, so I guess they just kind of have to rip it. Maybe I thought that was just a little bit more time.
It's in a tight corner there, and you know, at the end of the round, pretty fast round though, coming through. It seemed like Hawaii, had a little bit of that stutter where they lost the point for a moment, but once they got comfortable, it felt like they could handle all of the front pressure coming through from Montana.
Yeah, and now it's kind of be interesting to see what gets changed up. University of Hawaii seems to be kind of running more standard stuff, whereas University of Montana is kind of just going with the flow,
Hmm.
doing what they need to do. They are gonna have that Lucio now, maybe looking for. Looks like this team is like, we're gonna get environmental kills. You got a hook, you got a boot.
Oh,
I'm down.
all right, all right. Let's see who stays on the map. Opening up the fight here on the ledge side. Very treacherous. You can see Banana gonna be looking for those boots. They're gonna be so deadly here on the corner. Still Immo committed early from University of Hawaii, from River there. Amps coming through, and it's just some back and forth poking on the side area. The point has unlocked, gonna be capped here by Montana, but I don't think it's gonna matter. That shatter took down everybody, and well, they didn't even get to cap it. Hawaii's gonna come through and take it.
That was quite the shatter there from Math Dealer. Hope I don't misspeak during this cast, but
Math dealer, that's a
Math
great
Dealer,
name.
I changed that slightly, and there's now an accusation of crime. So we're gonna try to avoid that here, but really nice shatter from them and really nice tempo, knowing when to kind of push in there. But I don't know, this seems a little bit dangerous.
Well, Math dealer dealing the stats out. What a nasty fire strike coming through. No one wants to get hit after it's run through the amp matrix. We all know what it's like. Looks like he just keeps firing them one after another, getting those final kills.
Yeah, and now we're gonna be seeing how University of Montana. Man, I've been saying university so much today. It's trying to catch on my tongue, but they're gonna probably just speed forward with this coalescence here, try to get that out. Will they catch a Kami in the corner who could one-shot any unsuspecting squishy? Doesn't look like it. They do get out.
High noon pop here from Wombology, and well, that is, man, with Overtank already taken out of the picture, Montana's gonna have a very tough time trying to push forward.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
this
a
is over tank. I thought it said diva tank, and I was like, you know what? Go get him, nail care. But no, it is gonna be over tank. Man, I just can't read. Okay, bomb.
Oiva tank.
Oh, nice bubble there to keep them alive. And the Moira, though, is dead. You still haven't used Coalescence, but you trade out the Reinhardt. That's pretty useful considering that spawn is so close. We'll see how it ends up, though.
Montana now pushing through the choke some, but Akami just waiting for the Death Blossom. A lot of DM was there to pick it up, but Loadman did fall in the process. Wasn't quite fast enough to catch it all. Still the sound barrier making it even more difficult for Montana to hold strong. Two supports against the Reaper here on the point. It is going to be slaughter for them as Hawaii continues to hold strong and takes this first map.
Yep, there goes that first map, and it's going to be University of Hawaii taking that one on their way into King's Row very, very confidently. It seems like they are a very complete team in the sense that they seem practiced and they seem like they know what they want to run map to map. They seem like they generally know what they're trying to do. I mean, this shadow was amazing.
Right.
Just walking forward, swinging in, no fear. Just exactly what you want to see.
Well, and that no fear also is a result of the trust that he places in the supports, knowing that he can just pretty much walk up and be hard pocketed the whole time through that aggression. So, of course, good job all around to Hawaii for, I mean, it seemed like they were able to support that level of aggression very well. And it's something that looked like that was part of the game plan most of the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a big thing, and I'm reading about this, is that University of Hawaii obviously has been expanding esports, particularly in Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch League in Hawaii for all their international events this last year. I mean, it's just been like a big boon for Hawaii, like University of Hawaii, in terms of esports. So it's been big for them and see their program increasing. And right now, they look pretty solid. They look
Yeah.
pretty on top of things right now. So if that can continue, this series. I mean, it definitely looked very dominant. So
Absolutely. And you did talk about how their program is constantly growing. It'll be really interesting to see how they continue to grow through the second half of the EGF season as well. Going into it, they don't have the greatest of records. There's definitely a lot of things that could get cleaned up. They're currently at a 2-6. So, there's still some room, but there's some really tough teams in this bracket as well. So not too much, skin off their back there on that front. It's not an easy competition to climb in this area.
man, from what I can realize, this is one of the this is like the junior varsity team. Um,
Oh,
there's two teams I believe. This is the more junior varsity team. I kind of wonder how that kind of plays out with if you're this team where I guess it's a little less pressure, right? Because you're not the sole kind of representative of your school. Obviously, you still want to prove yourself. You still want to win. You still want to do things. But I feel like there's a little bit less where you're like like we have to be like the best representation of our school possible. Where
yeah.
I mean, other teams will be like, I'm the only thing that's like representing my.
And well, we're gonna go into King's Row to see what comes next. But regardless of being on varsity or JV, I think there can be a lot of mental pressure applied.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also could be the thing of we want to maybe push up to varsity, right? If one of the players can prove themselves
Right.
on a junior varsity team, you can push up to varsity, that kind of thing. That's really big. And obviously, if you want to start moving into varsity esports or high level teams, like just getting experience with teams in general is going to help out immensely. So all these players are getting a lot from this. Not only are they representing the school, getting to play esports for that school, but also, also getting to just get better as in a team environment. But Mac Dealer.
Oh,
dealt some damage instead. Dealt some death deal.
Man, if he's dealing anything, it's the number stats for himself. He's been getting so many kills when he was on the Reinhardt, and now on this Roadhog. I'm actually terrified for Montana what he's going to bring to the table, because that opening arsenal was nasty.
Is that the stuff he brings to the table where he what that he deals? He +1 final elim, final
Basically.
blow. +1 final blow. That's what he's doing. And
again, oh, poor Cheval. That's the second time he's been caught by Math.
Not disrespect the hog on the flank. Definitely gonna be looking around, gonna be walking back. There's your BAP dead. Okay, from a general perspective, it's the job of the SIG to try and mark a flanking hog, because what's gonna happen is your Orisa should be able to. Okay, I don't know what's happening back there. Jimmy Carter finally takes him out, but
the damage is too much.
Yeah, too much damage, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's the job of the SIG to mark the flanking hog, because what's generally going to happen is your front line, it should be going even, if not better, for your team here, because you have two people probably shooting their shields, whereas you have a Tracer on... No, wait, no. Yeah, but they have a Tracer on the flank, and they have a hog on the flank, so your Sigma should just be looking to mark the hog and trying to shield off whenever he comes around. Once he uses hook, he's just not a threat anymore. But I don't know if Jimmy Carter is fully aware that this hog is...
Sorry. Anytime, even if it's me, I breathe just like that when I get hooked. I'm like, stressing out for you, my friend. And, this butcher skin is really playing into Math Dealer's favor. He's just butchering people left and right with this hook. He's not being caught. Oh my gosh, that would look like it was around the corner. I would be a little upset if I was overtanked right there.
Yeah, and watch out. Okay, this is the hook. I think it's like the first hook.
That's the first.
Yeah, first one. The first one. We got it. But yeah, right now it's just you're getting a lot of flank pressure right now, and this can actually crumble some teams if they're not as used to playing against a style like this. Yeah. They'll just kind of fold on the flanks, and they just will get overwhelmed by damage on the side, and this will happen. Basically, this will happen, and you're watching it before your eyes. Kind of the problem with if you don't have people to mark flanks, it's such an important thing, especially in ranked. People at home, watch the flanks, or else this will happen. You will get goal bossed.
River Gold! There you go! Feeling good enough to get aggressive as that Battle Mercy, but I want to give a lot of credit to University of Hawaii, especially their Tracer, winning pretty much every 1v1 duel or just shooting everyone in the back. I don't know if it's a duel if they're not looking, but he is taking down multiple targets that are trying to put up resistance, and it's not quite as effective as they need it to be.
Yeah. And I think a big thing of what's kind of happening is like once you start losing people like that on the flanks, and you can become too occupied then with the flanks, and then you kind of lose on the front line as well. And
It's
right
like
now, Mathiel is getting very well, like you said, helped by the Tracer. There's follow-up. It's not just the Hog solo flanking by himself. The Tracer's also there. So it's a coordinated chaos.
yeah. And it's hard to play through that. The comms are really important in that type of coordinated chaos style. And well, as you guys saw, we're not quite sure where that elevator leads to. After some second thoughts, I'm thinking it must be a Willy Wonka style elevator. Goes all directions, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no down right there.
Yeah, but did you read the Great Glass Elevator? You read that book?
I actually have not.
Goes wild. I will be honest. You think you know Willy Wonka? You do not know Willy Wonka. That book, he goes to space. There's an alien that eats people. It's crazy. Read that book.
Really?
Very fun. Yes, read that book. Very
Okay.
wild.
Oh, that was
Here's another
wild.
alien.
He's got pinned after. Oh man, Mathuler. He is gonna be just. I mean, he is egging Montana on non-stop with those hooks. They have got to be furious at the amount of value that he was able to get from that. And I mean, stuck in this corner here, coming around for the flank. They've been pincered.
Yeah, definitely been pincered right there. And again, if you commit too hard onto that Roadhog that's flanking, if you can't kill him almost instantly, if you can't CC him almost instantly, you're going to be committing resources onto a target that's going to soak all that damage and then repel it back at you when his team comes in. I mean, this just looks like it's going to be a rough time for University of Montana if they don't somehow manage to remove him from their backside.
Right. Even a switch, I'm thinking maybe to some type of CC or maybe the Ana to help with those antis, mitigate some of that longevity he has through all of the self-healing. Jimmy Carter falling very low, and well, that is going to close the deal on this most recent push for Montana as Hawaii just came through and wiped him out.
Yep, there it is, and I'm expecting more of the same. They're gonna have ults coming up soon, particularly DPS ults. This is one of those very rare situations where the DPS are just kind of doing a lot of stuff on the flank right here, and the supports don't really have much to heal. So support ults aren't gonna be the first ones to come up. It's gonna be DPS ults.
Yeah. Well, there's both DPS ults, like you said. The engagement coming through so much. I mean, that was a little overzealous, regardless of being ablating. No nano there to back you up. Overtank does get hooked again by Math, and well, there's still more kills coming through, regardless of Wimbology kind of jumping to his death initially to open up that fight.
I have a hog ult on the flank. Not much for them to do right now. The pressure is just way too immense right now, and look at the ultimates that's been built up for University of Montana. Not much at all.
We gotta switch over to the Baptiste though from Bowserhauser, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, what she can bring. Oh, and Bun Bun, she's also switched over. So totally revamping the support line of Montana for this.
Yep. And now we're gonna see, can this shatter land? You don't have much to deal with. You could just solo shatter the hog. I mean, Mathiel has been a big of a nuisance. Mathiel again doing some stuff with Jimmy Carter, full HP. Gonna be trying to walk on the flank as well and look for their own kind of shenanigans right now.
Definitely. He gets a hook and a nice pick. River God is gone, and well, all of Montana here is up on this high ground. Overtank does go down, gets hooked again. Poor guy, constantly being targeted by Math. And well, it is Montana pulling out all the stops they can to try and aggress forward onto this point. Whole Hog finding that kill it needs. Doesn't quite find the hook, but the supports are on the run. Jimmy Carter goes ahead, tops himself off, but he's gonna need help. There's not anyone else there with him, and it's still Hawaii holding strong with only 30 seconds left, and wow, that's a lot of ults.
Yeah. I don't quite know how to win this next fight here for University of Montana. You can maybe just try and look for a shatter, just walk forward onto this hog, shatter him,
Yeah.
kill him, remove him from the game. The character, not the player.
Oh, Math does go down with his ultimate online, so a small chance here. A lot of DPS ults getting thrown, though, from Hawaii. Kills coming through as Montana
Huge.
trying to do the last touch there. Does manage to trigger the OT, but wasn't quite enough. And that's going to be Kings Row going over to Hawaii.
Yeah, and really just strong showing there for University of Hawaii. Um, and I don't know how. Wait, which play was this? Because it wasn't the blades.
Okay.
It wasn't either of those blades. No, it's gonna be
No.
a dry fight. It just dashes
Yeah.
into 6 people, and it's like,
I
oh
mean,
well.
it might as well be a blade with that many dashes. Jeez.
Yeah, his blades went better. Too bad. He's just a neutral Genji. He's a little bit of a neutral Genji. He's a little bit of a neutral Genji right now.
Ah, man. I mean, the dash reset ability, though, is the potential for its value is insane. And we've all been cut down many a times by the final dash, and then he just gets to dash away because it's reset. Not as fun.
I'm gonna
But
be real.
oh, go ahead.
Genji's the most terrifying hero in high elo because if certain people are playing him, if it is speedily or seeker on him, you're just like, guess my backline's dead, nothing to do. Guess Genji's the best hero in the game. It's like, guess Genji's the best hero. I guess Genji's just the best hero. These people just poke it out. It's just like, I can't beat it. Then my backline is dead. Perma. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's always tough when you're the support line and you keep getting picked, and it doesn't really feel like you're playing Overwatch. It feels like you're playing Maze Runner, and you just keep going. You're just running, trying to go left or right, and then you run some more. So, not quite as abusive as we're seeing here. We did see that good play come through from Wombology earlier, but we are going to move on to Hanamura next, and it might be pretty tough for Montana to punch through that defense once again.
Yeah, but before that,
Hey folks, and welcome back, of course, to EGFC Week 9. We are in the thick of our last Overwatch match of the evening, University of Hawaii going up against our newest team, University of Montana. So far, it's been a pretty tough battle for Montana, and, Hawaii seems to be in quite a flow state right now, worse.
yeah, I think right now, Montana is very new. I could think not just in terms of competing in this league, but also I think as a team they seem quite
Yeah.
new. So I think it'll take some time for them. Maybe it's just like I mean, obviously everyone's trying to have fun with stuff, but At some points it's like some people are like here to like I want to just win EGFC. Like we saw Wichita was like I want to be number one,
Right.
number one. The other teams are like I know we won't hit number one, but we want to have fun. We want to try and win some games here. And we're obviously gonna play our best because honestly, if you aren't playing, like I find that sometimes when like I have people like I have friends that are like yeah let's go troll in some ranked, and I'm just like I kind of just want to play and like try. It feels really good. It gets boring quickly if I like not try.
I'm the same way, and I probably have a bit of a competitive edge that comes back to bite me sometimes, but I do like to win. I like to play as hard as I can to win, especially in a competitive scene. And, having fun, I have a lot more fun when I play well, and that when we're all playing well together and having that synergy and still trying to create those plays. So really good to see University of Hawaii obviously making big plays already. Cheval's gone down first. Oh man, River God is the one to take him down. So some aggression coming through from the supports. There's a flood of Hawaii people though on the point right now, and they've surrounded everyone on Montana, cleared them off, and gonna cap it pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think there might be a smidge of tomfoolery here from Hawaii. Just a minute amount of tomfoolery from this team coming out here. Obviously, like we were just talking about it, having some fun, but still just trying to win this out.
Yeah.
And for University of Montana, it's really just gonna come down to like. What could they do? I mean, Jimmy Carter can hook River God and kill him. That's cool.
Yeah, that's a good one. Looks like Math is just going up straight through the middle here, going to look for that hook, didn't find it. Now Montana's been pushed over to the side as they had to fall from high ground straight into the mouth of University of Hawaii, and all of the damage coming through from pretty much all angles at this point. I like how Math went up the center, provided that additional damage coming through, and a fast cap at 5:35 left.
Yeah, and I mean it's gonna happen. I can't not say it. It's gonna it can seem discouraging, but I mean at the end of the day you show up, you compete, you have fun, play some Overwatch,
Yeah.
play some games with the pals. I mean that's what it is. And I mean, I think against like certain teams as well, like you can definitely have a lot more fun. Like University of Hawaii seems to be just like a tier above, but there's other teams that like definitely they can compete against, I think.
Well, and like we mentioned before, University of Montana is quite new, and at
Yeah.
least to this league. So there's going to be some calibration elements, and we don't have tons of history on how much competition they have been involved yet at this point. So they could be also getting settled into their own rhythm, and of course getting used to what it's like to compete here at the EGFC league. I think that, maybe Loadman on that soldier, I don't know if that's always the most valuable he could have, but we'll see if he decides to stay on it or maybe combat Woombology a little more.
Yeah, and right now we're gonna be seeing this kind of rush come out here for University of Montana. Can they run over this, run to point and kind of maybe even run over Math Dealer? I think Math Dealer is going to get a little overzealous here, going to be like, I can just do what I want. Obviously the ball here is doing that same thing. There's no, I believe not a single form of CC, or consistent CC on the side of University of Montana, so I guess the ball can do whatever they want. Nothing's going to really stop them outside of getting shot.
Which does surprise me considering Woombology has been just absolutely wreaking havoc on them. I would personally have loved to see some CC come through either on that Sombra or that Cass. But at this point, Hawaii is getting a heyday of pushing Montana around.
Yep.
Literally involved.
Yeah. And we're going to be seeing Kami try some stuff here. POTUS again just rolling through, nothing to contain them, nothing to stop them.
Nope.
Nothing really does pressure out of Kami either, right? You don't have like a D.Va, you don't have like you don't have a Genji. Like you don't have a Genji. Like you should always have it. No, you just don't have things.
Oh, and Napotas has there it is, the minefield, gonna drop it straight at the entryway. No admittance here.
Yeah. And this is just gonna be like all of University of Hawaii all day right here, but Um, Again, and for University of Montana, definitely a lot of games to go, a lot of games to play. First game of the split,
Yeah.
spring split for them, and also just the first game of EGF for them. That was a nice shot.
Yeah.
From Wakame as they get improved. So definitely a lot more stuff to kind of improve and just play more as a team and just try and get used to like playing with each other. Oh, nice hook though from
Bye.
Jimmy Carter himself.
Oh, and the whole hog from behind, shooting everyone in the back. He does get pulled and stunned out of it, which I think is that overconfidence from Math you mentioned earlier. It's going to be a blade coming through from Woombology, though, putting the nail in the coffin for this push. Oh, got hooked himself, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. River God with 2 kills!
Yes.
All right. That's
Go,
filthy.
boss.
Watch out behind you.
I don't know if I can say the last one, but I don't know what I can and cannot get away with. It's not like a bad word, but I mean,
You know, we're here to not cross the line too far.
We're here to not promote certain behavior.
Right.
Even if it is just a meme, I don't want to promote it. I just don't. Not on a college podcast.
That's fair.
We're gonna be seeing here. Oh, she's in the spawn, rolling around, having a laugh. And I mean, I think Jimmy's been doing pretty well. Like I think every pick just stems from Jimmy Carter.
Well, you can only do so much though as the Roadhog. Getting those picks, there's still a lot of additional damage that he's getting pulled into, literally. And he's not getting as many resources pumped into him as I think Math is getting when he's playing this aggressively.
Look at him. Look at him go. Look at him go. That reminds me of the 3K where he solo flanks around King's Row Bar and then he just kills 3 people in an alleyway with a whole hog.
Man.
Oh, man.
And that's a tough place to be, too. Obviously, whole hog alleyway is not a winning combination for the recipient.
Yeah. And basically, Jimmy now on the ball, looking to touch. Already whittled down, though. And Bowser Hauser. There was the other one that could have maybe touched.
Oh.
They're gone. Jimmy Carter will touch. Loadman finally pops the ult. He's now dead. It's just unfortunate turn of events all around.
Yeah, didn't quite go the way of University of Montana, but Hawaii here has been doing a very good job at just preventing any form of breakage on their defensive line. Overtime has been triggered. River God's trying to get aggressive here on the end. One for the stats on the res, loving that there. Gonna have to try and continue to move forward. Takes down Cheval. And there it is, a little bit of fun coming through at the end. But University of Hawaii showing very strong and taking the series.
Yeah, and gonna be a rough first game, first introduction for University of Montana. But again, plenty of games to go in the split.
Yeah.
University of Hawaii, a much needed confidence booster as they sit 2-6 now, 3-6 in the standings. I believe definitely going to be useful for them to like kind of get like a week to like up their confidence and start moving in towards tougher opponents, because definitely gonna need it if they want to finish this out potentially with above 50 record.
Right. And like you mentioned, they were at a 2-6, now at a 3-6 record. So this may be the game that helps Hawaii kind of get back on their feet, find their flow state moving into the later parts of the season, and try and turn around their record a bit from earlier. Obviously, already making moves to start.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure for Hawaii, they sit in kind of a conference where they've had to play some really tough teams, and they haven't played the weaker teams in that conference yet. So once those games come in and the games against other conferences, definitely could maybe see them. I think maybe I haven't checked their schedule for sure, but I think maybe they've had a tough schedule so far because they definitely look like a competent team. Not so much 2-6. So I think maybe they had some kind of unlucky in the scheduling.
Yeah, I mean that's how it happens with seeding, and that's what I would call it. Is just it's unlucky. Some days you go up against 1, 2, 3, and 4 back to back to back, and
are we bad? Opponents just good.
Right. And that comes back to what we talked about earlier with making sure your mental state is where it needs to be, reality checking yourself sometimes on what opponents you were engaging on, and maybe some of the extraneous factors that caused you to lose that day, life happens and it gets a little heavy sometimes. And that's when, it's not about how good you are on your best day, it's about how good you are on your worst day. And, well, sometimes it's harder.
Yeah.
But we are, let's see, it looks like we are going to get Akami in here for an interview momentarily, folks. So we'll speak with the winner from University of Hawaii, and we'll be right back. Hi, folks, and welcome back to EGFC Week 9. We have Akami with us from the victorious team of University of Hawaii. Akami, congratulations on your win, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a really fun match.
Nice. Well, all right. Obviously, you guys won 3-0, having some extra fun at the end. But I gotta say, we were talking about this before we hopped into the interview. The tracer and ball synergy that you guys were displaying seemed to be really on point, and you were shooting people in the back, and they didn't really stand a chance because there was so much pressure coming at them from all different angles. What has it taken to really get the hang of that for you guys as a team? What's gone into that?
Well, I mean, we've practiced a lot. Like we make sure to always Like before every practice, we like highlight what we really want to practice on. We did this a lot before, but now that we've kind of like got our comfort comp, which is usually like the ball stuff, recently we've been picking up brawl. We've been really just focusing on things that, the purpose of the comp, like where your
Okay.
position is, where are you supposed to take the fight, things like that. It's just practice, in my opinion, and just good coaching.
Oh, nice. Well, it's not often you hear a little props over there to the good coaching part, too. What has been one of the biggest challenges for you in this season, or maybe for the second split of this, going into the second split of this season?
Biggest challenge has been scheduling.
Oh.
it's been uh it's been a roller coaster. It seems like everywhere along the way, there's just another roadblock. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's just constant like talking to people, or like people on my team, just being like, "Oh, can you make this time?" And that was like honestly the biggest challenge. I'm sure we'll face more challenges as time goes on and we face harder teams.
Hmm.
but so but right now, I think just setting up all these times and dates has been
Yeah.
the biggest issue, biggest challenge.
Are all of you all in Hawaii, or are you actually spread across the area at this point?
We're all in Hawaii, in
Okay, okay.
Oahu to be exact.
In
Yeah.
Oahu itself. Okay, cool. Wasn't sure. Seemed a little ambiguous after that last part, but it is really hectic with the school schedules, and of course, I'm sure it's more difficult with everything else going on. Worse, what do you
Yeah.
want to?
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Go
No, I just
ahead, tell
wanted to
us.
say, yeah,
Yeah.
it is really hectic because I think recently the university just started doing some more classes in person.
Mm,
So it's been like we have an iLab where like I think like half of our players are playing today, so
mhm.
that they can, when they're not at home at their computer, they can play in the lab, and that's
Nice.
actually where we held Overwatch League. So we actually have
Oh.
we have a pretty nice setup there. But yeah, usually you'd prefer to be on your setup, but
Totally. I mean, which I would consider your own setup to be like home court advantage, right? Yeah,
exactly.
totally.
Yeah. So I guess looking at you guys, obviously coming into this split, or this spring semester, 2-6, but obviously we talked a little bit before. Big overhaul for you guys. Hawaii 2.0 was a buzzword I heard thrown around by a producer. So is that kind of how the feeling is right now? That kind of doesn't define the team anymore. The team is much more than that, or much different than that.
We're trying to, because I gotta give props to the people on the old team. They tried their best and they practiced hard. It's just it's a hard game, and they played against good people. But we're not. I'm not just trying to leave them in the dust.
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
I definitely I want to just keep their legacy going and showing. I just want to show what UH is, and
Nice. Well, I think
that's it.
saying the words keep their legacy going, that definitely shows where you guys are coming from as, the ones to take up this mantle pass from the previous team.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I guess for you guys, where do you guys kind of lead towards for like meta wise right now? Are you guys more ball leaning or Rhine leaning teams? It's kind of been this like split with a lot of teams I've seen in kind of certain levels of play where like some teams are like, we just really love Reinhardt, we're gonna play Reinhardt everywhere, and some teams are like, I don't like the Reinhardt character that much, not as fun, not as good.
Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Our main tank player is like, we know him for Reinhardt, but he's like, Reinhardt just kind of gets dumpstered right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we just we're we're
learning.
testing still, but for a lot, it's map dependent. Honestly, we want to make sure we can play whatever. Sometimes teams are really good at playing against brawl, so you gotta know how to play ball. It's like, uh, we just really want to learn how to play everything, so that when push comes to shove and we need to play a certain comp on a certain map, we'll be ready. That's that's basically it. So yeah, I mean overall it's been a lot to practice, which is good because you do get tired of one comp sometimes, like goats, but
Yeah.
but so yeah, it's more fun that way in my opinion.
It's a lot more fun for us to cover too. So, full supporter there. And, I think that the fact that you guys are taking that approach to try and keep your arsenal really diverse, what type of team compositions you can bring to the table is definitely going to keep helping you guys ascend through the ranks as you continue through the rest of the season. Akami, we're going to wrap it up here. Is there anyone else you want to maybe give a little shout out, props to, or whatever's on your mind? Hit us with it.
Just want to give a shout out to my coach Vance, or Vitaki on Discord. He's honestly, he plays on Australian servers. He does all his things on Australian time. He's like the one person that's not in Oahu. I think you asked that before because he's not
Oh,
actually a
yeah.
player. Yeah, he's the
Oh.
one person. Because he's not actually a player. We can get away with him being because, but he's really close
Yes.
to us, and he's always helping us out, always offering VOD reviews. So he's he's a star.
Wow. And even across the ocean, still there, hard supporting. Well, Akami, thank you so much for joining us and giving us the insight as to kind of what's going on with the team going into the second season. And we wish you both, or we both wish you the best of luck coming up in your next games and look forward to covering you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be on this interview.
All right, folks. Well, that was our last match of the evening, and we're going to go ahead and close it out. Of course, big thanks to EGFC and Tyler, who runs the whole thing, gets everybody situated, on board, players, talent, you name it, they go through him. Huge props, of course, to our producer and observer, Aeon. They have been fantastic in the back scenes, bringing you the real magic you see here. And worse, thank you so much for joining me today. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I feel like we should have like somewhere on this scene, on this graphic, there should be a thing with the producer Twitter tag, like there is for the casters. Because
Yeah.
they should definitely put that there because they definitely deserve that. So I don't know what their Twitter is. I don't know if you know what their Twitter is or anything like that,
Oh,
or what they want to get shout out.
Aeon, it's
At
so it's gonna be at Aeon's Ahead, AEON as in
S.
Aeon,
Yeah.
just for clarifying, not SAEONS_ahead, like ahead of the game, because
Yeah.
Aeon obviously is when they're covering the camera.
Yeah. I just do that because like I do production, I do observing stuff. I'm like, just put it on there, man. Give them the stuff, like give them the
Yeah.
credit they deserve. But when I'm casting for other people, I'm like, I always try to shout out producers. They do a great job. I know how it's a lot. It's a lot of time behind the scenes. A lot of the time, not a lot of
And work.
downtime. Yeah, not a lot of
Yeah.
downtime. They got to be on the thing.
Look, movie producers, they get a lot of credit, and esports gets a little bit cut short. So much love always to you guys. You are the ones who bring the real magic to the viewers, of course. And folks out there, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. There's more games, of course, on EGF throughout the week of Super Smash and League, but we'll see you next week on Thursday for more Overwatch. Cheers.